Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, August 14th, and we are focusing on lighting today on our Amazon live stream. I want to double check first and make sure that you can see me. So let me just do a quick check and show. Let's see what we got here. What we may need to do is to check it on desktop. No problem. You're probably wondering, well, why are you in the dark? What's going on? Why are you in the dark if you're doing a show about lighting? And that is exactly what we're going to talk about is the topic of lighting. I'm going to share some blah, blah, blah. It's still first thing in the morning. I had one cup of coffee. We're going to talk about tips on using lighting to enhance your stream and to enhance your video display, your scenery. So right now, yeah, it does look a little dark, but it's all good. We're gonna fix that in just a short minute. Here's one thing I want to do. Like I said, I'm double checking to make sure that you can see me live. So I'm going to do a quick refresh of my page. If you're in the Amazon stream, so if you're in my room and you can see me, give me a little tap, like let me know. Just type something in the comments, and I'm going to do a quick check myself here. Okay, it looks like we're good. Awesome. So here's what I will do. Like we're good. Awesome. So here's what I will off so I don't hear myself in the stereo there. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about lighting. First of all, like I said, I'm in dark lighting right now for a reason, because I really want to express to you, like in real time, what it means to have great lighting for your stream. So I'm going to be demonstrating that in just a second. And I also want to share with you some of the tools that I personally use so that you know what I use and what I recommend. There's some things I haven't used yet that I'm still going to suggest you look into depending on your circumstances. And by that, I mean, like if you're someone who infrequently or at times wears glasses like I do, there's certain things that you're going to want to do in terms of positioning for your lighting. So we're going to talk through that and anything else that you all have questions about. So if you're watching me live on a Saturday morning and you have your coffee with you and you're good to go, ask those questions, put something in the comments. I'll be checking both my YouTube channel as well as my Amazon channel. Those are the two places I'm streaming this morning. So let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about lighting. First of all, as I said, you see me in the dark right now, but you notice that there's something that's called ambient, okay, lighting that's kind of in the back. It's very subtle. It's a very subtle pink. I'm actually going to be adding more of that. There's a couple of places that you're going to want to add lighting when it comes to your video stream. One is you want to make sure that your face is well lit. So I'm going to turn on my ring light, ta-da! And you can see how much of a difference it makes when you have good, strong lighting for your video. Now you can actually see me, right? You can see my lips moving. You can see that well, you can pretty much see me speaking. And so it's not as distracting because you're focused on and your attention is on me as the speaker. If that's what you want, then you absolutely want to make sure your face is lit up. Now, personally, I don't like harsh lighting. I don't want you to see like all the nooks and crannies in my skin. So I do typically go a little bit more subtle. And I have some examples of starter lighting that I used when I first like started out. I'll walk through that too. But I like things to be a little bit more subtle, so I tend to go with some lesser lights instead of this ring light. One of the things you want to think about, and I'm going to highlight this on my Amazon page so you can see it. I'll show you the one that I'm using right now. I think that you can see it if I click on it. Okay, so it should be highlighted if you're watching on the Amazon live stream. The one thing I like about this particular light, and you'll notice it's called ring light with tripod. I like this ring light that you see right now being used because of a couple of things. One, it allows me the height variability, meaning that I can be sitting or I can be standing. So the tripod gives me full length or it can be shortened to whatever height I choose. So if you're looking for a ring light, right, that is not like lying on your table, it's not like a tabletop light, but it's one that is standing and you have your camera positioned in the middle as I do right now, and it's going to give you height so that you can do what you want. You have versatility in terms of your position where you're standing or sitting. If you want to do something like that, when you look up ring lights, you want to locate one that has a tripod and you want to pay attention to the tripod um, footage, like how high does it go, right? That's the reason why I'm pointing out this particular ring light that you see on the Amazon page. I'm pointing this one out, and let me see if I can pull it up on camera. For those of you who are not watching on Amazon, I'm going to try to do a really quick share screen. Let's do that. Okay, hold on. I'm pulling it up for you so that you can see it in real time here. The one that I'm looking at, let's move it a little bit. I'm going to try to do a couple of things here. So the one that I'm looking at right now, we'll move our name off of here to give us a little bit more real estate. So I'm looking at this one for those of you who are not watching on Amazon, okay? This one, and I will put the link in the, let me go ahead and do that. I'll put the link here for those of you who are watching through another means. I'm using this one because you'll notice that the image, the graphic that they're showing even shows that there's height to it, okay? There are a couple of other reasons why I invested in this particular light, which I'll share in just a second. But before I do that, let me put the ring light with tripod stand here in my link so you can see it. So this is on Amazon, okay? And this is what we're looking at. We're actually on Amazon Live right now. I'm going to switch this up so that it looks a little bit better. What you'll notice is that there is an extra $10 off coupon. So even though the current price as of today is about 70 bucks, there is a coupon available. And here's what I've noticed is that since we've all been kind of in this state of flux over the last couple of years, it's obvious that there's a lot more people using video. So you typically are going to find some deals. Initially, when people were out making purchases so that they could do more Zooms and they could do more, video meetings and conferences and all of that, the prices went sky high, like they skyrocketed out of this world. But now what you'll notice is that I think things have started to level off a bit. So this ring light currently is about 70 bucks. But there is a coupon, like I said, because a lot of these vendors that have been selling this type of equipment are also realizing they're competing with other sellers who have come out of the woodworks to, get a piece of the pie since everyone is out there buying video equipment. So again, a couple of reasons why I like this particular ring light with a tripod stand on Amazon is one, that it has the height requirement that I needed because I wanted to be able to do my video blogs and to do my live streams, whether I was sitting or standing. Most of the time, when you go and type in ring light, you're probably going to find tabletop ring lights. You're going to find the ones that literally just sit on your table or sit on your desk. And those tend to be popular because most people are sitting, right? But you do want that versatility because you may need to move. You may need to take your kit with you on a shoot outside, or if you're doing a video shoot in a hotel or wherever you may be, right? You want it to be portable and you want it to be something that will give you different versatile positions. Again, still waking up, still figuring out the coffee thing. But you'll want to make sure that you are looking for height. The other thing that I like about this particular light, which I'll show you right now, is that it gives you temperature changes. So notice how I'm kind of looking a little bit more white blue. There's kind of a blue element to this. Um, and then there's also an amber, which is my favorite. I'm really like somewhere in between. Okay, so you can kind of see the temperature differences. Now on the actual screen, you'll notice that they have the different lighting options. So there's one, I'm going to blow it up, one that is very white. That's a bright white. To me, it looks a little blue. There's one that's a little yellow, and then there's one that's a little more amber. Okay. Um, I haven't had a need to adjust very much because once I found the temperature that I prefer, I just kind of leave my setting there. But let me show you some of the differences. So notice again, and maybe I need to blow my screen up more. Let me do that so you can see what I'm talking about. So notice how it's super, and there's an intensity option too. So now I'm really shiny, which I don't like. Or you can take it down in intensity right before you turn it off. And so it's lower, which is what I do prefer. Okay, but here's the temperature switch. So I'm going to turn it up a little so you can see the switch in the temperature. Okay, there's that bright white that gives you a little bit of a bluish tint. Personally, I don't like that for me, but here's one thing you want to think about. If you're an African American, woman of color, or man of color, um, even if you're not, if you have olive skin tone, if you have whatever your skin tone is, you're going to need to make an adjustment with your temperature for your lighting in order for you to get where you want it to be. So I don't like this particular lighting setting for me, but for somebody else, it would be excellent, right? The other thing you're keeping in mind is the temperature also can impact the background that you're using. So if I had a pure white background, like a wall behind me, it is going to look a little different. I probably should not be showing my hands until I lotion them. Let's do that now. But you probably are going to want to be doing, like, this is my go-to that I keep next to me. I did order it on Amazon, so I'm within the rules. But I keep it for my hands and for my elbows and stuff, right? So when I'm doing a quick hitter and I've not done my due diligence, it helps out. Um, it does change up the scene that you're creating depending on the background that you have set up, depending on your skin tone, it really depending on a number of different things. But in the end, all you need to know is you do want a ring light. If you're purchasing a ring light, you want one that is going to give you that flexibility to be able to change the temperature, give you the height, that you want up or down, and also the intensity. So like I said, I don't like mine to be up all the way like that at all. And I do prefer mine to be a little bit more on the ambient, or not ambient, but amber side, because of my skin tone having the yellow undertones, right? So if I didn't have the yellower or the warmer undertones and I was more of a cool skin tone, I probably would do a little better with that bright white, but still low intensity, I think. You're just going to want to play around with it. And the most important takeaway for you really is you want a ring light that doesn't just have you at one setting and you can't change it. Okay. Because you're going to want to make sure that it matches with your studio setup, with your skin tone, and all the other factors that I've already mentioned. The only other thing I'll point out with this particular light before we move on is that I also like the fact that it has a remote with it and it has a carry bag, right? So notice that it does have this little carry bag here, and it's not super nice, but you don't really need it to be crazy nice. You just need it to be sufficient. You need it to be something that will give you the ability to be able to carry it with you when you need it. And then there's the little remote, which pretty much is coming standard with a lot of camera and video equipment these days. So if you get any of those type of bundles, right, then it's going to give you the option typically to be able to have the little remote. And so what's cool about that is that it's a Bluetooth remote. If you're using your ring light with a smartphone, for instance, you can connect your little remote to your smartphone using Bluetooth. so that you don't have to be, doing this right here. You're not pressing the button directly. You simply are, you might have your hand hidden down here and you're taking a quick snapshot. Okay, right? So, I mean, these are nice little details that they're thinking about and that they add nowadays when it comes to the bundles for video and camera equipment. More people are using this type of equipment these days, more now than ever, for conferencing and meetings and Zoom calls and that kind of stuff. Okay, so lots of options with this particular one, and I did include it because I thought this one was a very affordable option for you if you're looking for a ring light, and it gives you all the bells and whistles that you really need. So I'm going to take a really quick break and share with you a little history lesson. I'm going to share with you how I started out. And look, just for those of you who are joining and you've never watched me do Amazon Lives before, these are not scripted. So I just really pick a topic and come on and try to answer questions and really just share from the head, like what's in my head about that particular topic. Because I've been doing this for a little bit now, for a little bit of time. And I want to make sure that I can just share with you. So it's very unofficial when we do these. But if you do have questions, if you have comments, let me know. I'll try not to spend too much time on just one space. The other thing I'm doing is I'm also kind of keeping track of comments and questions that are here. Bunto, good morning to you as well. Good to see you. I'm so glad that you're watching. Thank you for watching. All right, so let me share a little bit of something that is kind of cool. When I first started out, I didn't have a lot of budget for video equipment, but I just was committed that, hey, I'm going to do this, right? And so I got a little creative and I was looking for cheapy lights, right? So one thing I actually did is I found one of these at like a quick Home Depot, right? It's a clip-on light. This is how it works. It's a clip-on light that you literally can get at any hardware store. You can probably find these on Amazon too. I just hadn't looked that up, but I started with this and I just clipped it on some things. I had it rigged to where it would give me lighting that I wanted. I found natural light. I found daylight bulbs at first, but then I figured out that those were way too harsh. And because there is no intensity button, since these are so dirt cheap, I couldn't turn down the glow, like it was way too much. So then I had to find softer light bulbs that ended up working pretty well. But I just wanted to share that you don't always have to start out with the expensive stuff. I'm going to give you some options here on Amazon that are not super expensive, but I also want you to be creative depending on your budget if you're not quite ready yet to go and invest and do a whole shopping spree for video equipment. So another cheapy startup that I purchased was this little ring light here that is also, it is on Amazon. I'm not sure if I have this in my little store, so I'll check real quick for you. But I started out with one of these too. It was a little ring light that you just attach to your phone. You just kind of do it like this, right? And you click the button and go. I mean, super simple. And it had 3 temperatures. Well, actually, it had 3 levels of intensity. It didn't have temperature changes, so you couldn't change from bright white to amber, etcetera, but you could go from low to medium to highlight and just have this on your phone. So a really inexpensive way to do that would be just purchasing a singular ring light that can clip onto your phone, just like that. All right, so let's talk about the next one that I wanted to cover that's here on Amazon. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to spotlight it here if I can. And if you have questions about lighting, don't hesitate to go ahead and add those here. Okay, awesome. I'm trying to pay attention as best I can. Sometimes I get a little distracted, but I am broadcasting in a couple of places right now. So both on Amazon, which is where I really want you to be, and I'm going to put my Amazon link here for those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you're over there or somewhere else. Okay, so here's the other one that I want to highlight for you. I'm going to spotlight one that's called a webcam light stand. Let me get to it. I want to make sure that I pull it up correctly for you. Okay, this is also in my store, and this has become a major go-to for me. Major. And I'll show you why in just a second. So let me pull it up, and I'll also give you, let me pull the link for this one too so that you have it. Let's see, copy. Okay, we're going to share screen so you can see this one. There we go. Okay, so this one is a webcam. Look, I hate how they have these super duper long names, but they just do. So just know I can't do anything with that. It is what it is. I'm going to type in the webcam light stand. I'm giving you the short version of the name, but it's a super long name. And I'm going to pop in the Amazon link for this one if you can't see it on the live stream. So this one is called a webcam light stand, and it's really cool. This has become a go-to for me because notice that there is a clip-on right here. So in terms of you being able to kind of add this to your desk space without taking up a lot of room, that's the thing I look for when it comes to lighting. I don't want to have a bunch of lights with stands that are taking up my real estate on my desk where I need to write, have my planner, have my stream deck, and other things that are really essential too. So as much as I can, I try to find any type of equipment that I'm purchasing. I'm thinking about, okay, how can I make this minimal, have a minimal impact on my desktop space? So I like that this particular one has a clamp. And it's really, so you just literally are clamping the thing, just like I just showed you the two clamps, clamping this on your desk. The other thing you'll notice is that it has that, see that little controller? And I may need to blow this up a little bit more. Let me do that. Okay. So notice how it has the controller there. That is where you turn the entire light system on or off. You can also change temperatures, as we were talking about, and you can change intensity. So look how simple this thing is, and it's under 20 bucks, but it gives you all these different features that I just mentioned were a part of my taller, more expensive ring light. The other thing I like about this particular stand is that in addition to you having the lighting, you also have a holder for your webcam. So if you're using like a Logitech webcam, and that is my standby. I have a Logitech webcam that I use as a standby for many of my Zoom meetings when I don't need like all my fluff, like all my bells and whistles with my DSLR camera, my fancy stuff. Then I will use, oops, sorry about that. I will use, let me make sure I get it on the right picture so you have that there. I'll use my simple Logitech. But again, because I already have the setup with the big DSLR and the larger or taller ring light that I mentioned, I wanted something that was smaller that I can move with me. So if I'm going to broadcast in the dining room or somewhere else in the house, I can clip this literally on any of those tables and not necessarily have to be in my official studio space. This thing is so portable, but yet it gives you all those options in terms of the lighting. And you can use it as a holder for your webcam. Now, I would not put my DSLR camera, which is heavier. I've used a Canon and now I use a Sony. I would not attach that to it, but you certainly can attach Logitech or any of the other more generic versions. We talked about webcams. I think we talked about that in our Prime event. We'll have to do a featured show on that too. But yeah, it's super easy. Look right there. You're just going to basically screw it on. So I have my Logitech webcam right now screwed on to this kind of hybrid thing that they've got going where it's a holder for your webcam and a light. I like that it gives me options and that it's super portable. And it's not pricey at all. It's under 20 bucks. So, and it's also on Prime. So there you go. If you have a Prime subscription, you can get this in one day. depending on where you are. So take a look at this one. The brand is Ace Taken. Um, when they talk about the fact that it is flexible, it is. Let me do this so it doesn't look weird. When they talk about the brand being flexible, it is because these arms right here that you see can actually move. They are mobile, meaning that you kind of like they're rubbery, but they're still stiff at the same time. So once you position it where you want it, then you're good to go. But it can move, right? You can position it however you want to. And the clip-on is golden because you can put the thing anywhere. So love, love, love this as an option. This is a webcam light stand, definitely one for you to take a look at. I'm going to pause real quick and see if I have any questions coming through. All right, not yet. You may have questions if you're watching after the fact, if you're watching on replay. So make sure you put those in the comments. I do come back and check my comments. I'm very responsive. I try to be at least. Some of you have had questions about glasses. So I'm going to highlight one now that I want to show you that will help with the glare, right? Because again, look, so when I put on my reading glasses, you can see that there's somewhat of a glare. In fact, if I had on my actual glasses that I really use, there would be potentially like a really sharp ring light glare inside of my lens. So I want to talk to you a few minutes about positioning when it comes to your lighting. And what I will do, because I really hate this right now. I'm going to make an adjustment. So look at here. This right here is one. This is the ring light that I was just showing you. Let me pop it back up again. This is, you see it in action. It's giving me sufficient light, right? It's giving me just enough. Now I can turn it up. Because it's on one side of my face right now, it's not lighting my entire face, but guess what? I like these so much. And there's, you see the temperature or the intensity changing up? Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna make it go down and then I can pull it all the way back up. Oh, I'm glad I thought of giving you that option. But let me show you what I also do if I am broadcasting and I want that lower light instead of that big harsh ring light. I just have one for each side, one of the flexible arm lights that look like what you see on screen on each side of my monitor. For me, I like that I don't have to have direct lighting, like that really harsh lighting. And I think the older I am, more mature, let me say that, the more mature I get, the less okay I am with really harsh lights, like highlighting every wrinkle and eye line, eye crinkle. So having kind of these lower lights, these lower level lights gives me a little bit more comfort, if you will. Okay, but it is about positioning properly, right? Because there we go. Okay, so now you can kind of see my face lit up, but you don't necessarily see, and let me pull back so you can see like a full screen version of what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not as harsh. There's still some shadows, but I'm kind of okay with that because it's not as harsh. Okay, let me bring this one down a notch. But here's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about another one. Yes, the problem of you, some of you are facing the problem, excuse me, or the challenge of glare on your glasses. That's where we're going. So I'm going to show you something called a softbox, and then I'm going to show you something else a little bit more pricey. But I want to give you both options, okay? So this is what I have up right now, and let me change my link for you. I'll get this link so you know what the link is. Okay. Let's change this up. This one is and it's made by eMart, this particular one. It's a soft box lighting kit. So I'm going to plug in this link for you so that you find this one if you're looking for it. Okay. This is the one we're looking at right now. So let's talk about glasses. Again, what can happen is when you use one of the really professional, nice lights, you can end up having the glare, like the circular glare. And then some people can't see your eyes. That makes your video less credible, right? They want to see that they can trust you. They want to hear what you're talking about, but they want to see your eyes. They want to see your face. It's why even when it comes to thumbnails, they talk so much about making sure that you have your face and your eyes are looking at the person, at the camera, right? It's a trust thing. Part of that is a psychological thing. So you don't want to distract from your message by having your glasses take people away from you being a real person who is really sharing from your heart and sharing what it is you want to share. So glare on glasses is a real struggle. And what I would highly encourage you to do first and foremost is to do a Google search. You will find a ton of videos that talk about how to get rid of glare on glasses when you're live streaming. I probably need to do one myself. I just have not yet done a specific training on that. So maybe on one of my Thursday weeklies, we'll do that soon. But the reason why I'm showing you this softbox is there's a couple of reasons. One, this was one of my earlier purchases or investments before I got the ring light that I have now, the first one I showed you. I don't know why I can't open this. Hold on one second. Before I purchased that ring light, I started out with shadow boxes, with these softbox lighting kits. And I had two, just like you see in the picture. So let me kind of blow that up a little bit. I had two. The reason why I wanted two and why you would want two is because typically you're going to point them at an angle like this. Okay. So you're going to have one on each side, not pointing directly at your face like your ring lights typically do, but one on each side. The other advantage, besides the fact that that type of angle can help you to have more of a complete, your lighting is complete, like you're hitting all the right angles of your face and you're not getting shadows, but you also have the ability of being able to diffuse the light somewhat so that if you're wearing glasses and you have a bigger softbox light, like what we're looking at, when you have a bigger softbox light, it gives you, instead of that like singular little circle that you see on the glasses, the light is distributed more evenly. Okay. The other thing or other advantage to using a huge softbox like what you're seeing here is that they give you height if you're standing or sitting. You can, just like what we talked about with the ring light. And then another advantage is that you can lift it up in terms of height so that it is not, let me try to see if I can get it this way. Okay. You're doing it like this. This is how you're positioning those lights so that they're over the glasses and not coming straight at you and creating the glare, right? It's going to kind of be at a high position this way. Let me try to do it this way so you can get what I'm saying, hopefully. I'm trying to make this work. You have the lights, the soft boxes, they're positioned this way, and you have them on whatever intensity you need for your setting, for your skin tone, for your studio background, all of that. And it gives you good lighting without creating the glare on your glasses or lenses. Okay. So soft boxes can help with that. And the cool thing about this particular softbox kit is that it comes with a carry case, right? It also comes with, I believe it does come with the light bulbs, okay, right there, these eMart light bulbs. Now, literally, as you saw when I showed you the one that I bought from that had the garage light, you can get those bulbs anywhere, but you probably want to start with at least the eMart because they've made these specifically for the purposes of video. Okay, let's see what we have over here. Yeah, okay. So this just kind of highlights what I was sharing with you earlier. Let me blow it up a little bit so you can kind of see it. Um, let me really blow it up right here. So right here is what I want you to see, not this, but this. It gives you the ability to be able to get whatever height you need. So see, it goes all the way up to 78 inches. And if you're looking for a softbox lighting kit, you do need to pay attention. Really, with any of these things that we're talking about, you want to pay attention to the height. Otherwise, you're going to end up returning it. I've done that. That's why I can tell you from experience. I've returned things that didn't give me the height I was looking for. The other thing that is cool is that it does have an adjustable head, which is what you want because you want the different angles that we were talking about for purposes of moving the glare away from your glasses. You don't want the light coming directly at your glasses, but kind of over and above them, right? And still giving you the lighting that you need. So there's some tips on the softbox lighting. And there's a kit that I recommend that's in Amazon. Before we get ready to wrap, I'm going to give you one more piece of advice on lighting. And I will remove this real quick here, and let's just double check and make sure we have. Oh, this is one I was going to share with you. It's a little more pricey, but I hear people talk about it all the time. Remember when I started out and I said, I'm going to share with you the ones I've used, but I also share with you some of the ones that I have heard from people that they've used. Okay, and I'm checking to see if I have any questions popping in. I'm going to share, if you're on my Amazon site, I'm going to go ahead and showcase this one that we're talking about now. So this one is the Elgato Key Light Air. So let me pop it up for you. So the Elgato Key Light Air, as I mentioned, it's pricier. So I'm giving you that heads up, but it's only $110. I say only, depending on your budget, that may be good or it may not be good. So I want you to pay attention to your budget at all times. When you're thinking about buying any type of equipment, okay, for your video ventures, you want to make sure first that you are committed to doing more video. You are committed to actually making this thing work before you go out and splurge on a ton of equipment, because this stuff can get expensive. So this is the Elgato Key Light Air, and I'm going to plug in. Let me make sure I put the link in here for you. Okay. I am thinking about this one. I will probably do it around Christmas time because during the holidays, I tend to get better deals. Memorial Day, Labor Day. So maybe even Labor Day, I'll be looking to see where the prices are for this, and to see if they have any more updated and more current versions of it. But this is the Elgato Key Light Air. So as I was mentioning the softbox thing, the disadvantage to the softboxes that we just looked at is that they're huge. And when I say huge, like they take up a lot of space, a lot. And so you want to really consider the space that you set aside in your home or office to do video. And if you have minimal space, like I do, you don't want the whole room taken up with all your gear all the time, 24/7. So that is one disadvantage to the soft boxes. I literally have broken my soft boxes down now and I've taken them apart. In fact, here's one. This is one right here that I was just showing you. I meant to show you that, but I don't have the big the soft box on it. And actually, this is one with an umbrella stand. So the reason why I got the one with the umbrella stand that you see right here, you can't see the umbrella itself, but it's easy to take the umbrella on and off. But very similar to soft boxes, it takes up a lot of space. And I didn't want to have to constantly be moving that thing out of the way just to walk into the room, right? So what I like about this key light, I think, I'm going to be trying it, is that the same things I was telling you about in terms of that glare directly on your glasses, this will help with, because it is more diffused light, like it's not coming at you like those ring lights where it's a very specific, targeted, focused light, it is more diffused, and therefore it gives you the opportunity to have much less glare on your glasses. And notice also, I'm going to show you in this guy's picture, notice also how it is minimal, which again we've talked about. So it is taking up room on the table, I see, or on the desk. So I would be looking for something that would give me an opportunity or option for using an arm, because I don't want that space taken up. But it can be put at an angle above the person's head. So notice how it's above his head as he's broadcasting, right? So that again is one of the things you want, that angle, so that you're not coming directly at your face with the light. You want it at an angle. We're trying to do it again so you can see it. It's so odd doing this in the opposite way. Okay, but you want it in an angle so it's hitting you in just the right way and giving you the coverage that you need on your face without all the glare. So I'm going to be trying this. It talks about the fact that it has multi-layer diffusion technology. I don't know what that means, but I do believe that it means that it's going to disperse that lighting so it's not giving you that like really harsh glare that we just talked about. And it also says it's adjustable. It's adjustable. So app enabled. Oh, app enabled. This is something that I've been seeing a lot of with some of these video pieces as well with the gear. A lot of this gear you can turn on and off if you have uploaded an app to your phone, your iPhone or your Android. They have an app so that you can remotely do what you need to do. You can turn them on and off. I use this app called Govee right now for my ambient lights. Let me see if I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So when we see something like this that says app enabled, that's typically that they're saying. Let me blow myself up. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to see if I can get it up real quick here. But I'm using a Govee. So watch this. When I turn it off, I can turn it off. So notice how the pink went away, and notice how the pink is going to come back on. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. So watch me turn it back on. I turned it on, and now I'm turning it off. And I am literally using my phone to do that. So what's cool about having things that are app enabled, by the way, is the fewer places you have to go when it's time to do your stream to turn things on, the better. You want to remove distractions and be able to go live as quickly as you possibly can. I use a Stream Deck now more than ever. I'm starting to learn. I'm teaching myself how to use it more efficiently. So at some point, that's going to be my control panel for everything, for lights, for sounds, for all kinds of stuff. So let me see. I had added something. I'm going to see if this works. It's not working right now. Okay, I had added something, a feature on my Stream Deck to add sound, but I'll keep playing with that and I'll be back with that in a couple of weeks, right? Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So here's the thing when it comes to your Elgato key light is I do like the fact that it has the, it gives you some of the same capabilities as far as the shadow or soft box lighting, but without taking up all that doggone space in your room, right? To me, this looks like it's a very minimalistic setup, although I don't like that it has the platter here on my desk. I would be looking for an arm for that. But as they even mention here, it has a small footprint, right? So I like this as an option, and I think that it's going to be worth it. I will come back and do more of a review. Let me fix this. I'll come back and try to do more of a review. Get me back on there, man. When we actually purchase it, like I said, this is one of those purchases I'm probably going to make around a holiday. Okay. But if it goes on sale on Amazon, then trust I'll be back in here or I'll be in my community letting you know, because I do believe I trust in Elgato products. Many of the products that I have in my studio space are Elgato. So if you want to check out that Key Light Air, there is the link. And I'm going to go ahead and show that one more time. And right now it is currently under $110. It's $109.99. And it is a Prime option that you can choose there so you can get it quickly. All right, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to check and see if there are any questions. If you haven't been watching me on Amazon Live, this is where you need to be. Go to streamlikeaboss.shop and you'll see it there. Let me just double check real quick and make sure there's not one or more questions that I need to answer because we're about to wrap it. There's several different types of lights that you'll see in my store. So if you go there and you have questions about something, don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask why I have it in the store, and I'll give you my suggestions. I'll tell you why. I think that's all we're going to go through for today. I have a couple of other ones in my library here for this, but we have gone 47 minutes long now. So I think it's time for me to get my Saturday morning started beyond the stream. But the neon lights that you do see behind me, they're in my store as well. One thing to think about as it relates to lighting is not only, again, what's lighting up your face, but also how are you creating ambiance? How are you creating the scene for your show? And so, thus, the many reasons why I mentioned that I look for lights like these smaller lights that I just showed you. I also look for the ambient lighting, right? I also, and oh, here's one thing. I didn't plug it up, but you can find things like this kind of all over the place. This is actually a light. And it's similar to the one that is lighting up my space down here. So all of this pink that you see right here, it's similar to that. You can find them almost anywhere. Definitely on Amazon, they have a lot of neon lights. You just want to put in neon lights, but you want to look for the colors that are going to best brand or work with your brand, okay? So pink is my thing, and I can find tons of pink everywhere. But if you need more of an amber or yellow, or you need purple, or you need blue, or you need red, or there's all kinds of different ways that you can colorize your ambient lighting. So that Govee app that I mentioned goes with a lot of the Govee, Govee brand lights. And some of those you will find inside of my store as well. But if you've got questions on those, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer for you. I hope that you found this to be fun, and not just fun, but useful, valuable. So if you've gotten any tips from me that will help you, then please go apply them. Don't just listen to this and then walk away and be like, oh, that was great. But also think about how can I use what she's shared with me to do better, to do more videos and to do more improved videos. It has been my pleasure to serve you as always. And I hope I will see you again next time. We should be back on in a couple weeks here on Amazon. I'm also live every week on my YouTube and Facebook channels. And because I can't share where I am outside because we're on our Amazon stream, just look up Tanya Smith and you'll find me anywhere, or Stream Like a Boss and you'll find us where we are. Okay. All right, folks, have a good one, and we will see you next time.